This woman is stranded on a deserted island. She hasn't eaten for 3 days, finally finding a conch shell. But faced with the terribly fishy smell of the meat, the woman can only force it into her mouth. But that disgusting taste makes her throw up. In contrast, the man nearby not only has precious lobster, but also plenty of sashimi, creating a stark contrast between them. They've been stranded on this deserted island for 7 days. To fill her stomach, Jenny decides to go all out. She keeps walking back and forth around Jack. This method proves effective. Soon Jack stops her, inviting her to join him for a meal. Jack cuts a piece of fish and hands it to Jenny. After dipping it in some sauce, the taste is absolutely delicious. Not only that, she also gets to drink sweet coconut juice. After eating and drinking her fill, Jenny gives him a kiss as thanks. Jack is overjoyed. From then on, the two depend on each other for survival on the island. Just a week before, Jenny was a rich heiress. On her first ocean trip, the yacht caught fire. Everyone had to abandon ship. Unexpectedly, a storm hit that night, washing everyone into the sea. When she woke up the next day, Jenny was on a deserted island. Then she saw a person washing ashore. Jenny quickly went to rescue him, but pulling him to shore, she found the man severely injured, already at death's door. At that moment, Jack appeared from behind. He wanted to try saving the man, but without medical supplies, the man quickly stopped breathing. Jack has rich survival experience. With just a knife and swimming goggles, he returns from every sea trip with a full harvest. On shore, Jenny isn't idle either. She finds large coconut trees and builds a simple tent with Jack. Jack digs a large hole in front of the tent to collect rainwater when it rains, solving their freshwater problem. They quickly adapt to life on the island. Jack's thoughtful care makes Jenny develop feelings for him. But one day, when Jack returns from catching lobsters, he finds a man lying on the shore. Seeing the man severely injured, Jack brings him back without hesitation. But to his surprise, this man is none other than Jenny's boyfriend. Seeing Jenny and Paul so close, Jack feels uncomfortable because after so many days, he has developed feelings for Jenny. But before he could express them, the awakened Paul begins to suspect him. Watching the two catching crabs by the sea, Paul believes something must have happened between them. Then he takes out a lighter and starts a bonfire. When the two return, they're amazed because they had no fire source before and had been eating everything raw. Now this problem is finally solved. Paul takes the opportunity to mock Jack for being on the island so many days, yet unable to make fire. Jack doesn't argue with him and shares his lobster with them, but Paul isn't satisfied. While the two are out catching lobsters, he secretly divides the hut in half, with Jack's side pitifully small. Jenny quickly scolds her boyfriend, thinking he's gone too far, but Paul is still jealous. Jenny says nothing happened between them.
I don't understand why you're not telling me what happened here.
Nothing happened.
Paul doesn't believe it and deliberately picks fights, telling Jack to stay away from them. Jack finally can't take it anymore. He provides food for them, yet ends up in such a situation. They have a big argument. Jack threatens to never provide them food again. Paul retorts that once they leave the island, Jack is nothing but a poor man. Clearly, he still doesn't understand the situation. When they can leave is still unknown. Without Jack's help, the two completely lose their survival ability. They can't even tell which coconuts are ripe, wanting to dive underwater to catch fish, but without goggles for protection, they can't see clearly. Paul can only come to the shore to catch fish, but even when fish swim right in front of him, he can't catch them. Meanwhile, Jack returns from every dive with a full catch, and when Paul isn't around, he secretly shares with Jenny. This day, as Jenny and Paul collect sea urchins on the beach, Paul notices smoke rising from Jack's area, so he quickly runs over. He thinks Jack stole his lighter. Actually, Jenny, to repay Jack, had secretly shared the fire source with him, but Paul knows nothing about this. Then the two men start fighting on the beach. Fortunately, at Jenny's persuasion, with a big fish as the price, the fight finally ends, but Paul takes this to heart. While Jack is asleep, he secretly takes his goggles. With the goggles, Paul quickly catches a big fish. When he returns the goggles, Jack doesn't blame him. Although very strange, Paul doesn't think much of it. He hurries to share his trophy with his girlfriend, but Jenny shows no interest. Paul immediately senses something wrong. Under constant questioning, Jenny finally tells the truth. It turns out when Jack found his goggles stolen, he took a spear wanting to confront Paul. Jenny quickly stepped in to stop him, but her clothes were pulled off in the process.
I can't do that.
Why?
You gotta promise me you won't say anything. Promise you won't say a word. You can't say anything.
Okay.
Hearing this, Paul goes crazy, thinking his girlfriend cheated in such a short time. Paul angrily grabs Jenny's hair, dragging her to Jack's side. He thought they would feel guilty, but surprisingly, After just a few days, Jenny accepted Jack's kindness. Paul is about to lose his mind. To reclaim his authority, Paul makes a bold decision. He first heats a plastic bucket, then shatters a glass bottle, takes the bottom and polishes it smooth, then embeds it in the plastic bucket, cutting off the excess parts, then finds abandoned tire rubber to wrap the sharp edges. With these simple steps, he makes a diving mask. Next, he heats an iron rod in the fire until red hot, crafting a sharp fish spear. Though it doesn't look impressive, it's very practical. With these two tools, Paul quickly catches a big fish. He's been stranded for 7 days, finally able to eat a full meal. Meanwhile, Jenny is dancing with Jack. Paul sees this and feels helpless. This day, Paul goes fishing again and accidentally discovers a broken boat. He quickly swims over to check. The boat is still relatively intact. If the hole in the bottom can be fixed, they might escape the island. He instantly sees hope, quickly grabs the rope, dragging the small boat toward shore. When he can't hold his breath anymore, he swims to shore to breathe, then dives back to continue pulling. With his continuous effort, he finally pulls the boat to shore. When Jenny and Jack see it, they rush over to help, but Paul stops them. He has no intention of taking them along. After how they treated him before, he's been holding a grudge. In the following days, Paul spends every day fishing and fixing the boat. Jenny doesn't give up. When Jack goes fishing, she secretly comes to apologize to Paul, but Paul not only refuses to accept, he tells her to get lost. Days pass. On the surface, Jenny and Jack pretend not to care, but secretly they've made plans. This day, Paul not only fixes the broken boat, but also adds a sail. To celebrate, he decides to go catch a big fish. Jack sees this, and quickly wakes the sleeping Jenny. They move all their prepared supplies onto the boat. Just as they're about to set sail, Paul catches them in the act. Paul rushes toward them with his spear in anger, but because of the distance, he's ultimately too late. Jenny and Jack in the small boat quickly sail dozens of meters away. But strangely, Paul isn't heartbroken. He even starts laughing involuntarily. It turns out he knew they would steal the boat, so he didn't actually fix it properly. Meanwhile, Jenny and Jack are still celebrating their escape from the island. But the next moment, they can't smile anymore. The boat has somehow started leaking. Jenny tries to plug the hole, but no matter how she tries, nothing works. Seeing the boat about to sink, they have no choice but to abandon ship. They swim desperately toward shore until they've exhausted all their energy. They finally make it to shore. However, this was all part of Paul's plan. He was waiting for Jack to be completely exhausted, so he could kill him once and for all. Ignoring Jenny's attempts to stop him, he kills Jack with the spear. After that day, Jenny and Paul live together again, until one day, some fishermen come to the island. They accidentally discover Jenny. Jenny hasn't seen other people for a year. She becomes extremely excited. She tells the fisherman about her experience, but strangely, she doesn't mention Paul. When leaving, she secretly takes the lighter and leaves with the fisherman. On the boat, Jenny drinks long-missed cola, while Paul, who is fishing, sees the passing boat, excitedly waves to Jenny for rescue. But Jenny not only doesn't help him, she keeps looking back, afraid the fisherman will discover him. Finally, Jenny sails away on the fishing boat, leaving behind a desperate Paul, who will be forever trapped on this deserted island. The movie ends here. Do you think Jenny's actions were right or wrong?